There is a specific moment today when your instincts and your patience will pull in opposite directions, Aries. And the sign that wins that argument decides how your whole Wednesday unfolds. Something in the sky right now is asking you to move slower than you want to. Stay with this, because the payoff shows up in places you are not expecting. The bigger picture. Today's cosmic weather centers on a tension between speed and stillness. In Western tropical astrology, the moon sits in your first house of self, squaring Mercury in your fourth house of home. That is a hard geometric angle, and it means your feelings and your words are not moving at the same pace. You may feel something surge up fast this morning, especially around family conversations, texts, or the small logistics of getting your day started. The instinct is to respond immediately. The chart suggests waiting one breath longer than feels natural. As the day continues, the moon shifts into Taurus. That is a grounding move. Taurus energy favors slowness, practicality, and physical comfort over quick reactions. So the same day that opens with friction closes with a kind of settling. From the Western lens, this is a lesson in sequencing. Feel first, then think, then act in that order, not all three at once. In Vedic tradition, a different picture emerges. Sidereal readings for today place the moon in Pisces, which corresponds with mental focus, emotional receptivity, and a favorable window for career opportunities. Vedic astrologers working with this placement suggest that something professional worth paying attention to may surface today. Where the Western chart emphasizes emotional regulation, the Vedic chart points toward outward opportunity. Both are describing the same day from different angles. One says manage what is inside you first. The other says watch for what is arriving from outside. Held together, they suggest a day where inner steadiness becomes the thing that lets you actually recognize the opportunity when it shows up. There is also a subtler current running underneath all of this, a pull toward curiosity and information gathering, particularly around something personal you have been quietly researching. Whether that is a relationship question or something involving the people in your life who are younger or newer to your world, the energy favors patience over full disclosure. You are allowed to know more than you say today. Love. That tension between rushing and holding back carries directly into how you relate to people you love. The urge to say everything at once, to lay out your full hand, is strong today. But this is exactly the kind of day where a little restraint works in your favor, not withholding out of fear. Withholding out of strategy. You may have noticed that when you share a little and let the other person lean in, curiosity does more work than a full explanation ever could. That is not manipulation, that is pacing. If you have been gathering information about someone, sexually or emotionally, the instinct to share every detail of your findings can wait. Give a glimpse. Let them ask the next question. Meanwhile, that early moon Mercury friction can also show up as a sharp tone in a text or a quick comment that lands wrong. If you feel a reactive message forming, this is the moment to pause. Say what you need in one clean sentence instead of unpacking the entire feeling. The person on the other end will receive a clearer message, and you will avoid a conversation that spirals over something that was never really about the words in the first place. Career. That same discipline, feel first, then speak, then act, translates well into your work today. The Vedic placement suggests a meaningful opportunity may cross your path, something worth grabbing rather than overthinking. But the way you present yourself matters as much as the opportunity itself. This is not a day to overshare your plans or reveal your full strategy to colleagues or competitors. A little mystery about what you are building tends to generate more interest than a complete pitch. People are curious by nature. Show them a sample of what you are capable of, and let their imagination fill in the rest. That restraint from earlier in the day, the one you practiced in personal conversations, becomes a genuine professional asset by afternoon. If your job has started to feel repetitive lately, today's energy supports speaking up about it, or at least beginning to explore what other options might look like. You do not need to make a dramatic move. You just need to stop pretending the repetition does not bother you. Money, career momentum, and financial clarity are close cousins today. And this is where that Moon-Mercury friction from this morning can resurface in an unexpected form. A money question: who paid last time? Who is covering what? Whether your effort is actually being seen may feel more personal than it looks on the surface. You might react quickly to a cost or a chore that feels unfair, then realize halfway through the reaction that the real issue is not the money at all. It is whether someone notices what you are contributing. Once the moon settles into Taurus later in the day, this becomes much easier to work through. Taurus energy is practical. It wants concrete solutions, not unresolved tension. Split the bill. Cook together. Say plainly what would feel fair to you. Affection does not require grand gestures, but it also should not mean one person quietly carrying the whole load. Health. Here is what makes today worth paying attention to. The same square that stirs your emotions this morning is also the thing training you to respond instead of react, and that skill is worth more than almost anything else happening in your chart right now. Most people will feel the friction and miss the lesson inside it. You do not have to. With that in mind, the Vedic focus on energy and clarity today supports channeling your focus into your body rather than only into distraction. Fresh produce, less alcohol, and small kind gestures toward the people around you all support steadier emotional footing. If you have been leaning on scrolling or noise to unwind lately, today rewards a different kind of rest, something that actually restores you instead of just filling time. Some Vedic practitioners may recommend Saturn-related remedies, such as specific mantras, for individuals whose birth charts support them. This is not universal advice. Gemstone prescription in particular requires personal chart analysis, and nothing here should be taken as a blanket recommendation for every Aries watching. What is universally safe is simpler: movement, real food, and a few minutes of quiet reflection before you let the day pull you back into motion. Home and family. That early tension around home logistics deserves one more look, because it does not disappear, it just changes shape. Morning conversations about chores, schedules, or shared responsibilities carry the same emotional charge we talked about earlier. If you have been feeling like family talk lately turns tense faster than it used to, today may bring one more example of that pattern. The difference is what you do with it. Naming the need in one sentence, rather than explaining the whole backstory of your frustration, keeps the conversation from spiraling. By evening, as Taurus grounds the day's energy, things at home tend to settle into something calmer, even fulfilling. Time with people you love in the evening carries a kind of ease that the morning did not have. Picture the day as a river that starts choppy near the source and smooths out completely by the time it reaches open water. Travel and spirit. There is a quieter thread running through today that is worth naming before we close. Part of what is stirring under the surface is a hunger for something new, a change of scenery, a fresh chapter. If travel has been on your mind, some sources point toward Italy as a place that could spark that next adventure, though this is more invitation than instruction. Spiritually, today asks you to practice the same restraint you are using everywhere else. Not every insight needs to be shared the moment you have it. Not every plan needs to be finalized today. Let curiosity do some of the work. Let the process of researching, gathering, and slowly understanding be enough for now. That patience is its own kind of growth. Lucky signs. If you are looking for a small anchor to carry through the day, yellow tends to support your energy right now, and the window between 8 and 10 in the morning carries a slightly higher charge for productivity and clear thinking. Treat these as gentle nudges rather than fixed rules. Today's guidance. So here is where today actually lands. The friction you feel this morning is not a warning sign. It is a training ground. Every square between the moon and Mercury today is really asking the same question in different costumes. At home, in love, around money. Will you react or will you respond? Choose response. Say less than you feel like saying. Give people a glimpse instead of the whole story. Let the days grounded, Taurus-flavored second half do what the tense first half could not. By evening, what started as friction becomes clarity, and what started as an urge to explain everything becomes a quieter kind of confidence. That is the real shift today is offering you. Carry it forward and see where it leads you next.